Welcome to episode 56. And as we said in January, each month we are going to work on a particular topic. So this month is the month of February seems, appropriate to work on relationships. So we're going to be working on the heart wall. All four recordings, shows that we're going to do this month are about the heart wall. So my name is Dana J. Smithers. I am one of the Emotion Code Divas. Helene and I do this show every Wednesday at 9:30, and we are here to educate, inspire, and release trapped emotions from a person or an animal. And in this case today, because I do, my focus seems to be moving to include more and more animals. So I'm also an animal Reiki practitioner, but I always do the emotion code first and then go into the Reiki session, which is kind of a calming session. So today we're talking about the heart wall and the animals that I work with, whether it's at the shelter, my local SPCA, or I'm just looking on site and I know there are animals that can use help. I too have to get the permission. So we're going to talk about how we do that and the 7 keys that Helene and I use, and we'll do a quick demo of that in the show. But everything we're talking about is based upon Dr. Bradley Nelson, the Emotion Code book. He has a new book coming out, which I have just ordered, Helena.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
available for order.
available for order. It's coming out in May, and it's a hard copy.
Hmm.
So Dr. Bradley Nelson has been meeting with and talking to Tony Robbins, who is very interested in what the emotion code was about. So Tony Robbins is doing the forward in the book, and this is fabulous news for Helene and I and anybody that offers the emotion code as an alternative healing method, because it's powerful stuff. And Helena's got some great stories of her own to share about the heart wall and how it's actually removing it is helping grow her business and move things forward. And as I said, it's also something that we do with animals. So that's a little bit about me. Helena, introduce yourself, and then we're going to get rocking and rolling.
Rocking and rolling. Great. My name is Helena Jenikin. I'm a certified emotion code practitioner as well as a certified clinical hypnotherapist. I see clients here all over the world via video for emotion code sessions and now hypnosis as well. But I also have an office on beautiful Vancouver Island, British Columbia, where I help men and women release excess weight, overcome fears and phobias, as well as stop smoking. I am the stopsmokinglady.com. It's my passion to help people stop smoking because it's the number one thing that a person could do for their health.
Exactly.
Hmm.
All right, so let's just go ahead, Helene, and jump right into the 7 keys. The reason that we like to do this is, one, for people that are don't know anything about the emotion code or interested in what is it, because it may to some people seem a little woo-woo, but once you understand what it is and you get the kind of results that Helena and I get with the clients that we're working with, you will be amazed at how well people feel, also animals, after doing sessions. So the first thing that we have to do is, according to Dr. Bradley, and we are certified practitioners and follow his protocol, is get permission. So what is it? So it's an animal, Helena. How am I going to get permission?
Well, there is implied permission because there is an animal. So if an animal was actually owned by someone specifically, it's best to ask that owner if you can do the work on the animal, because they'll have more knowledge about what it is maybe that needs to be done. But you right now are energetically going to be tapping into that animal, asking permission to work on that particular animal.
Right. And so because this animal I'm going to work at is in one of the shelters that I go to, and I have their permission to work on the animal. We could, in Reiki, we call it distance animal Reiki, but the same with the emotion code. We don't have to be there in the room, but we do need to become their proxy.
Proxy, yeah, proxy. So the proxy is the permission to tap into the person or animal's mind or subconscious part of their mind to ask yes or no questions.
Exactly. So the animal that I'm working with is actually looking for a home. He's a bit of an older dog. He's a big dog. He's a bit of a cross between a Pyrenees and a lab, a golden lab. Because he's a big dog, he needs lots of space, and he's quite nervous being in the cage that he's in. And so, as much as he would like to be in his forever home, even with an animal, there's longing in his heart. There's issues that, I'm going to find out, is there something that's preventing this dog from being adopted? So that's something that, is very, very important. And I'll ask, is it a heart wall? Is it a hidden heart wall? And so I also need to find out, and this animal has been there a while, so I'm looking at the severity.
The severity. So when we're working with our clients or our human clients, we're actually able to ask them consciously to rate the severity of their particular issue on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being severe, 1 being low. Our intention is to lower that number and also to get it to a 0. Our preference is to work on issues that are, like a 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10.
And so because hunters, I'm not an animal communicator, so I'm not an animal psychic. I'm not getting messages that way. I get things more intuitively. But I will ask the dog, and we'll just call him Hunter, what the severity is. I will ask his subconscious once I connect, because I have permission. I am now going to be the proxy for that. So what I'm going to be doing is what's called muscle testing.
Muscle testing. Wonderful. And how do you do your muscle testing, Dana?
For me, and Dr. Brad's got lots of descriptions in his book how to do it, but I do index finger and thumb together in one hand, and my other hand it's in index and middle finger. And I'm going to be asking, is the severity for, while I'm working on myself as Hunter, is it a 10? And if it's a 10, it'll say yes like that. If it's not, then I'll go, is it 9, 8? But actually, it's going to be a 10. I have been doing a little bit of work this morning anyway with the animals at the SPCA. So basically, I am already connected, and so so it's a 10. So that's how I do it. That's my yes, that's my no, and we do it pretty quickly. Helena, how about you?
I have a slightly different method. So I take these two fingers here, interlink them. And when they link together, my subconscious mind has the agreement that that's a yes, they're linked together. And when the answer is no, my subconscious mind has the agreement that they just pull apart. So that's a yes and that's a no.
Exactly. And so what we're actually testing, if you are new to the emotion code, Dr. Brad took thousands and hundreds of emotions, and he's put them in a chart of 60 emotions. So I'm going to be asking, is it in column A? Or is in column B? And then what's the next thing that I'm going to do, Helena?
You're going to ask if it is in an odd row or an even row. And then when you get that answer, you'll get down to one cell with 5 different emotions. And then you'll be asking individually about each of those emotions. Is it this one? Is it that one? And you'll find one, and then you'll ask if you can release it.
Right. And if it says I can't release it, then I might have to ask the question, does this emotion belong to, in this case, this dog, Hunter? Maybe not. Maybe it was inherited. I don't know Hunter's history, so, I don't know if Hunter came from a puppy mill or somebody that was hoarding animals or abusing or whatever. So it could be inherited from his mummy dog or the papa dog. I don't know. So, but I can't ask those questions when I'm in the subconscious. And so once I get that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a magnet.
A magnet. I have my magnets right here too.
Oh, you got it. Yeah.
So
strong. Yeah.
Yes. Magnets are pure energy. And just like if I took this magnet and wiped it over my credit card, it would cancel all the information on that credit card and that strip there. It's what we're going to be doing is releasing, canceling, deleting the trapped emotion that has been released from the physical system that is now sitting in the energetic system. Because once you identify that emotion, it pops out of the physical body into the energetic body. And then we wipe over the head like this. The reason we're wiping over the head like that is because this is where the governing meridian of the body lies. It starts underneath the nose, goes all the way to the tip of your tailbone. And our bodies have been mapped out by the ancient Chinese over 2,000 years ago. They've mapped out the bodies with all the different energy meridians. In acupuncture, they know where those energy meridians are. And so when we wipe over the governing meridian, we're affecting all of the meridians and letting that emotion go so it doesn't go back in.
Exactly. And I was just looking to see what viewers we have. I think what's happened is because we're a little bit late on the show today, our normal viewers are probably going, "What? What happened?" But anyway, that's fine. We're live now. And
We
do
get
you
so
see
many.
anybody on yours, Selena?
I see that we've got a few watchers, but they haven't commented yet. So when they comment, we'll be able to acknowledge them. But what's wonderful with the lives just stay there as recordings, and we get lots of views afterwards, and also on our YouTube channels, we get people to watch. So we were doing it for the world, for when they're ready to hear the information.
All right, I'm just going to post that. And
Mhm.
excellent. All right. All right.
So there's one more key, Dana, after the magnet.
Mhm.
The last key is, here's my little card here,
Exactly.
hydrated practitioner.
Exactly. So
Very important.
Helena and I, we drink a lot of water anyway. Water is very good for your skin, anyway, and your whole body, right? If you're drinking too much caffeine, like typically in the morning, I only really have about a half a cup of coffee. I'm not a big coffee drinker, but I'm always, even after Reiki, you're advised to drink a lot of water. So I'm drinking one of these at least before we even get going to the show. And then, yeah, so if you were doing the emotion code yourself and you find that you're getting a yes and you're getting a no and it's yes and no and it's not clear, chances are Dr. Brad says you're probably not hydrated enough, or maybe the person you're working with is not hydrated enough. So we want to make sure that's going on. There are other reasons too why something might not be flowing and you might not be getting the answers. If that's the case, sometimes just stop, get yourself centered again, do a little meditation. For me, I always I've got some crystals I work with. I use the quartz pink crystal I like. And I usually just put it on my heart and I put another hand over there. So this is for anybody that's wants to get connected. And if you just do that and close your eyes and just, feel the love pouring in from the universe, the chakras opening up. And it's a good way to get settled before you actually do emotion code as well, which again, I've already done that this morning. So I'm quite ready to work on this dog.
Hey
Alina?
Dana, did I bring you over? Because we live in different places. You live on the mainland, I live on an island. Did I bring you a rose quartz crystal last time I visited?
No,
Yes.
I think you were going to.
Hang on, I've got it right here next week. Hang on, check this baby out.
Oh, wow.
Look at that. It
Wow,
is
that's
raw
beautiful.
rose quartz.
That is gorgeous. Yeah, I just have a small one that I hold in my hand. And then energetically, actually, once Helena gives that to me, I'm going to clear the energy from it. You can do that just by intention, but you can also do it. I have something called Florida water, and it's a spray that you get at metaphysical type stores. I got it at Utopia in North Van, and I just spray it, and it just takes off that energy, because any crystal that you get from somebody else, you want to make sure that you release the energy off it. You can do it just like that by intention. You can do it with sage, but I like the spray. It's kind of a nice smell, so I'll be doing that.
Moonlight also, full moonlight.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Take crystals out there. Sometimes also washing it in the ocean, in the salt water of the ocean.
Yes, yeah. And the only one you have to be very careful with is selenite. Apparently, it doesn't respond well to water at all. So
Oh,
it's not recommended that you put any water on it.
hang on. Look, wait,
This is becoming a show about crystals.
it is. Take a look at this piece of selenite.
Whoa.
It's my selenite wand.
Wow. Yeah.
It's
That's
just
beautiful.
beautiful. We have a
I have
nice.
a quartz wand actually. But we digress and we will carry on here. Sylvia Bellini.
Oh,
Been such a long time, girlfriend. So maybe it's because it's a later show. I don't know, but lovely to have you watching, so Sylvia. So, okay, I'm hydrated. Helena is going to give us the educational piece about the
Heart
heart wall, how Dr. Brad talks about it, and some successes that she is having. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm just going to turn the volume down, and I'm going to get to work on this dog and release some of these emotions so that he can get adopted from the shelter, and we'll find out about his heart wall.
Yeah, wonderful. Good. So Dr. Bradley in his book here that you can actually learn how to do the emotion code in the book from his book here. His intention was actually to produce a document, a book that would be shared around the world that would heal the world. And so he's got you all the information in here. If you want to learn how to do the sort of the next steps to the emotion code, then you want to become certified. But in this book, there's a large section on the heart wall, chapter 7, if you happen to have the book. But the heart wall are trapped emotions, which can create a wall around your heart that can block you from living life to the fullest. And so when I heard about that, I knew exactly what he was talking about. I remember many years ago, a Reiki practitioner, she was doing the Reiki on me and she goes, "Oh, you got some energy blockages around your heart." And I said to her, "Back away. I want that. I don't want to be hurt ever again." And I remember her just taking a step back and just said, "Well, when it's time to release it, you'll just know how to release it." And so it was only a few years ago that I learned about the heart wall and the emotions that were blocking me from receiving all the fullest of life experiences that I want to experience. And lately I've been using the heart wall to improve my business. Amazing. During the training, it is suggested that you work on yourself to remove your own heart wall. Check if you see have a hidden heart wall. And then, so that's what I did. And all of a sudden, it was very interesting. My personal life relationship, my husband's and my relationship got even better. And then I asked if I could remove a heart wall from him, and he said yes. And it was quite noticeably positive, more positive around our place. So it's quite amazing. So some information here about the heart. The heart is a powerful, powerful electromagnet device. It's an energy device. And what Dr. Brad says here is that your heart is constantly sending out information to your body. Every beat carries critical messages that affect your emotional and physical health. Did you know that when you feel love towards someone, you are actually sending them a powerful electromagnetic signal to them using your heart brain? There's a book that I read recently. It's called Three Brains. Did you know we have three brains? We have this brain that we consciously use to analyze and be logical. And then we have our heart brain, which is our emotional brain. And then we have our gut brain. Our gut brain has as many brain cells in it as the heart and the gut both have lots and lots of brain cells. So have you ever heard someone, "Well, that doesn't feel right in my gut"? Using your intuition, my gut's telling me to something. It's because your gut is a brain. So is your heart. Your heart is super powerful because it can send the electrical signals out. So imagine if you had a wall of emotions blocking that signal from getting out or even coming in. So Dr. Brad says in here, scientists have discovered that the electromagnetic signals radiating from your heart are actually detectable in the brain waves of another person. Have you ever had someone call you out of the blue while you're thinking about them, or they just appear just after you maybe had a dream about them or thought about them? People are picking up signals. Now imagine if your signal or your antenna wasn't very strong, maybe even blocked or bent. Just imagine by removing the emotions, removing the blockages of what you are capable of achieving and attracting. So in here, Dr. Brad actually found out about the heart wall through a dream. He had a dream and he imagined this dream about his wife. and that there was a wall around his husband, his wife's heart. And he started to ask, what does this mean? What does it mean? And his subconscious mind, because he was muscle testing, was giving him more and more information. And he knew his wife's history. And he then started to ask if there are emotions, trapped emotions, that can be released around his wife's heart. And said yes. And then he asked if there are any hidden emotions. Yes. And then he asked a very important question. Is there a hidden heart wall? Yes. So he began releasing the emotions around the heart wall and the hidden heart wall. And what can happen is those heart walls can be released, but they can also be built up again. So have you ever known someone who says here, while she was consciously doing her best to deal with life, at the same time, her subconscious mind was building a wall, an ultimate protection against her heart from being injured again. And I remember that I built a wall around my heart from preventing myself from ever being injured again. It's very powerful stuff. So it says also here, the heart wall is a creation of the subconscious mind where literally anything is possible. The subconscious mind, anything is possible. It's the place of your mind that is your imagination. It's where your habits are, your beliefs, your morals, your ethics. It's 90% of your entire mind. Only 10% of your mind is really your conscious your conscious, critical, analytical, logical mind. So when you want to create something in your life, go use your subconscious mind, use your imagination, and have lots of powerful feelings, and anything and everything is possible. The next thing I would like to share with you is from this book is when you have a heart wall, you're not able to give love as well as you might, because the love energy that is in your heart cannot get out very well. And the same way, if you have a heart wall, that love energy has a very hard time getting in. So when people people's lives and the lives of their children and their families have been completely transformed when their heart walls have been removed. Imagine if you've removed your heart wall, but your partner still has a heart wall, or your children have a heart wall. And in my case, I've been working on my heart wall towards blocking clients coming into my business. And for the last month or so, I've been working specifically on just ensuring that my heart wall is open and receiving open to clients. My appointment calendar is so full this week, and it's starting to fill up next week. It is amazing. So just think about children that, when they're young, their hearts are so open and tender, and partly because the subconscious mind, when you're young, you're in a state of hypnosis. You are just dropping down all the beliefs that from around you, your experiences, they're creating your habits, your beliefs. And then after about the age of 9 or 10, this critical faculty starts to happen, and it blocks and it traps all those emotions, those beliefs, and those habits down here, so we can operate on an automatic level. So imagine a child who, is a victim of either cruelty or cruelty in all different forms. This is why it's important to work on children and release their heart walls so that they can receive love and give love later on in their teenage years and also in their adult lives. Dr. Brad has found that there about 80% of the general public will test positive for a heart wall. And as an emotion code practitioner, we also need to check for hidden heart walls. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting, the heart wall, the question is always, can we release an emotion from my heart wall? Or some doing by proxy would be my heart wall. And the answer may be no. And if the answer is no, then the client needs to take a little bit of time and just meditate and reflect on why it might be consciously that they don't want to, or subconsciously let go of that protection. And there's all this other great stuff in here. So if you're interested in learning more about the heart wall, if you have this book, great. But if you would like more abundant life, more loving life, being able to give and receive love, perhaps in your business, receive more clients, do even better work with your clients, when your heart is open more, consider having a heart wall session with an emotion code practitioner. Dana, what did you find today?
Very interesting. And also, I was listening a little bit at the end there about, yeah, those trapped emotions when they're young. So because I'm working with an animal, I think the theory is, and anybody's watching, feel free to correct me. I will check on this. But I think in animal's life, we do it times, is it times 7 to get their age? Because you were talking about, the child. And yes, sometimes we have an animal, like I've had, all of my animals have been rescue animals, and in some cases I don't know their age, right? So I'll take them to the vet, and the vet will kind of look at their teeth and a few things, and we'll kind of guess at what age the animal is at, but we don't always know. But it's just the same thing happens for them as happens to people, right? Emotions get trapped very young, and in this case, this dog had some inherited trapped emotions as well, even though I don't know the story, and I don't need to. Helena and I don't need to know your whole life story. In fact, we prefer not to, because remember, this is subconscious that we are tapping into. So on a conscious level, you may be telling yourself a story about something that may or may not be true. But what you're telling yourself in your subconscious is what you actually believe. So that's why we're removing those emotions. So the severity did start with the 10 with Hunter, and definitely had a heart wall. Didn't even have to go into the hidden heart wall. It was, we just went there. So I asked a question, are there any trapped emotions in Hunter's heart wall that are preventing him from being adopted? Because that's the goal, is finding the right forever home for the animal. So the first one that came up was defensiveness, anxiety, shock. And then I didn't actually ask for are there more, is it column A or column B? There's 2 words that just jumped up, and I actually had to look to see where they were on the chart because I don't have that, I purposely don't have that memorized. But it was abandonment and depression. So, logically that could make sense, but sometimes with emotions, we're not going after the logical.
No.
But in this case, that did. And then the trapped emotion of hopelessness, overwhelm, resentment. And then resentment came up again, and this time it was inherited from his mother, the mother dog. And then the abandonment came up again, and this time it was inherited from his mother. So I cleared that for her as well. Whether she's alive or not, I don't know that. It doesn't matter. Energetically, we're going to reach them. And then the last 2 that came up were heartache and confusion. And sometimes I get words that kind of put themselves in capitals, and they've got like flashing lights around them. And this was confusion. So yeah, the dog, he's confused, like, whoa, I was outside and now I'm in this metal cage, and, doesn't really know what's going on. And I would think that a lot of those animals would have that. So while I didn't get down to a 0, I got it down to a 3 with Hunter. And I'm still working with that organization so I can check and just see how things are going there. But that's good.
With the heart wall, we only can release the emotions that are ready to be released. And just like with humans and the animals will be experiencing the same thing. It's called processing. So after the session, there's conscious processing, there's subconscious processing. So it could be a mixture of feeling elated and lighter and excited to some maybe crying and sadness for a short amount of time. Isn't that the key, Dana? It's just always for a short amount of time.
Yeah. And if you find that a lot of people will tell me that they get a headache or they're not feeling that good, but it's just lasts a very brief amount of time. If you find yourself really going into a dark place or something, then reconnect with us. Yeah. We can do that. You can send us an email, you can text us or whatever, but we're there to help you get through that. And it's exactly what Helena said. consciously, you might think you're ready to move on. As Helena said, it could be better relationship, better health, remove the heart wall to attract, better clients, more business, whatever. But that subconscious, that's where the stuff is really going on. So maybe you're not ready to do that. And from a business perspective, maybe you have that fear of success or fear of failure, and that's what the heart wall is there for. It's like, no, not ready yet. But in fact, you are ready.
Yeah.
And we just need to remove that and move on.
Yes. Good.
Alina, next week, so keeping with the heart wall and relationships, we are going to be working on someone that is looking for a romantic partner.
I think I have someone in mind.
Oh, good. Yeah, and it's actually Valentine's next week too.
Ah, right.
Yeah, excellent. All right, so yeah, if you've got someone, that's great. Or if you're a viewer, or you know somebody that would like to have a complimentary session, please let us know. And Helena, how can people get a hold of you?
People can get a hold of me at flourishhypnosis.com. Motion code information is / emotion code.
Excellent. Thanks. And Helena, I hear you're having great success with your weight loss program.
Oh my goodness, my clients are absolutely loving it. I've been running a few group sessions. I just completed a 4-week session with a few ladies, and one of the ladies, she's almost off of her insulin. Her sugars have come down to such a great number, and she's seeing her doctor next week. She's ecstatic.
Yes.
The other lady, in 3 weeks, she released 13 pounds, and here's the key. None of the ladies I'm working with feel like they're on a diet. There's no deprivation. There's no starvation. They're excited. They're happy. They're exercising lightly and but continuously. Their whole mindset has been lifted up. And we do the emotion code session. We do some law of attraction teaching, and we do hypnosis. It's been great.
Yeah, it's fabulous. So, yeah, I mean, all these alternative healing, it works, right? That's great. So thanks so much. And we'll just give a shout out. Kelly Carson was watching. I think she's still in Costa Rica. We did some work on her a little while ago. So Kelly, you can let us know how that's going. Sylvia says, thanks for a great show. And Leslie Marshall, I think Leslie is an animal lover as well. She says, I hope that sweet dog finds a home. And so do I. And that's my mission, is to find as many animals forever homes as is possible. And yeah, for now I'm doing that on a local level. But again, emotion code can be done anywhere in the world and anywhere. So that's the beauty of it. So you can find me at empoweredwomeninbusiness.com or danasmithers.com. Some changes will be forthcoming for me this year with perhaps a new website and a bit of a new brand as I move off into some new and exciting directions. Alternative healing being the major part of it, along with the law of attraction. Everything is based on the law of attraction. What you're thinking up here is what you're manifesting out there, and it's always based on your feelings. So that's why Helena's program looks so great, because she's doing such good work and she's setting intentions, and people are committed, right? That's a big thing. You have to decide. You especially with weight loss or smoking, right? You can't just say, well, I'll try.
You know what? Here is actually something I've added into my talks with people. Yes, people can decide, and they may even join a weight loss center or a gym or whatever that is, and they decided to do that. They've even got a plan. Maybe they've gone to a personal trainer and they've got their plan, or they've got their meal plans all set up, and maybe they're even getting food automatically. But here's the missing link, Dana: execution. Execute the plan,
Yeah,
and execute your decision. And in law of attraction, that's your there's 3 words, and the last word it ends with action. So there's focus, the clarity, focus, action. Is that?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Clarity, decision, focus, putting your attention into it, and then execute, action.
Take the action, exactly. And you know when to take the action once you've got those other two things in place. And you don't always have to know that how, right? About what's going to go on. Anyway, that's a whole other show topic. So that's it from the Emotion Code Divas. Please share. We have a goal of getting, we'd like to get at least. We should set it. We need to decide and set a goal on how many new viewers we want to attract, Helena,
right.
because we know this is powerful stuff. And, even though we do short emotion code sessions here, not, typically we'll do 30 minutes, 45 an hour, and we might do, 3 or 4 sessions, not just one quick one. But this does work. These short ones, we have our intention, you have our focus, and energetically, we know how powerful the emotion code is. So share, let people know about us. And again, we're always looking for a viewer. So that's it. Bye for now. And have yourselves an awesome day.